Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer has me conflicted. On the one hand, it has problems. On the other hand, it's fun as hell. On one side, the maps lack distinct visual identity, save a few, and on the other, they are mostly all fun to play. Class customization is great, but the new unlock paths and camo challenges left me scratching my head. Now, this is nothing new for Call of Duty. Almost all of them have enough bad and good to leave players conflicted. Rare has it been if they are mostly good or mostly bad. So this review may hopefully not only help y'all, but me too. Let's go ahead and do this review before I make a pro and cons list about even doing this review.
Enemy fighter here. Alpha secure.
That clip should have told you anything. It is that the multiplayer is not flawless. That lag spike you saw was about as bad as it got for me. So nothing else game breaking was really encountered, but just be on the lookout. It's not the most polished game in the world. As for the gunplay and movement, I will say that these two things have been tuned up from the beta. They feel slightly more refined than they were in the beta. The movement's still slower than 2019, but it still works. Gunplay is slightly less recoil heavy than the beta, but just slightly. While the removal of things like slide canceling and bee-hopping sucks, for those who like it, I never cared for it, to be honest, so this does not affect me. Next segment. Now, I won't cover the classic game modes like TDM, Domination, Kill Confirmed, or even Ground War, because they are virtually unchanged, so let's talk about the third person mode. I have had a lot of freaking fun in this mode. It's just Call of Duty in third person, like back in the OG MW2, but it changes the gameplay a bit. I think the slower movement works for the third person mode. Being able to see your surroundings causes you to be more methodical. It almost feels a little more tactical. Not exactly like a tactical shooter, but it feels a little bit more, like I said, methodical, slowed down, and you think about it a bit more when you're playing, which is really what I enjoyed about it. I wish it had more modes. I wish more modes were in the third person mode. Now, one change that it made from the beta was that it changed the ADS. Now you will only go first person if you have a 4x or above scope. Now, I don't really care for this change. I got used to it, but the Ghost Recon Wildlands approach to gunplay was something I liked. Now, let's talk Prisoner Rescue and Knockout. These are new objective-based modes to appeal to the tactical shooter crowd. One life modes with one revive, eliminate everyone or just complete the objective. Different spin on search and destroy, basically, which I do like. Wish there was a pure deathmatch mode with this setup, but I will say I do like Knockout more than I like Prisoner Rescue. I don't really care for Prisoner Rescue, but Knockout kind of reminds me of Breakout from Halo 5, which I miss a lot. Or IP Breakout. Invasion is a big team deathmatch with AI. It's fun if you just want to turn your brain off, but other than that, it's whatever. It's cool. Like reminds me of a lesser version of Titanfall, but it's not something that I really cared for. Um, but that's about it with the game modes. The current ones are fun, but just like the critique mostly is for missing modes, like the party modes, like gun game or one in the chamber or gunfight. Where's gunfight? I hope that's coming soon because I mean that was like one of Modern Warfare's defining modes. And another one of Modern Warfare's not defining modes were like the cool night vision modes that had you play at night and you just had night vision and you had the lasers like you did, laser sights like you did in the campaign. I just really wish the Modern Warfare 2 would have launched with more modes, but that's it for the modes. Like I said, they're cool. I just wish there was more. Gunsmith has officially returned, and I question it. How Gunsmith works now is that there are families of weapons instead of individual ones. So let's look at this Kastov 762 right here. pulling up the families, you see that the Cast-Off 545 is unlocked by using the 762, but the 74U can only be unlocked by using the 545. Now, this could facilitate further use of the sandbox, so at the same time, I may not actually like the 545, so grinding it may be a little bit annoying. The same goes for camos as well. Let's say you have a camo that you want to unlock, but it can only be unlocked by using a certain weapon. Well, then you have to grind that weapon in order to unlock that camo. It's a cool thing that it can be used on whatever weapon after you do that, but then you also have to just use a weapon that you may not actually like, may affect your performance in multiplayer because it's not a weapon that you particularly care for. So this whole system is a double-edged sword. I can see how it could facilitate further use of the sandbox, but at the same time, this can be frustrating because then attachments or camos can't be used until you grind weapons that you may not want to use. Thankfully, for specialty camos like gold or red tiger or anything like that, you only have to use a weapon that you want to use. So I think I definitely fall more on the dislike side. I can see its potential, and it's early days. I'm only level 33, so the verdict is still out. But as of right now, I'm not a huge fan. So ultimately, what I think of Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, ultimately I find it to be a fun time. So a little bit of a story about me deciding to buy this game. Due to my current life situation, I had to choose between two games: this game or God of War Ragnarok. Now, on the surface, I really loved the first God of War. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And so, honestly, I thought I would probably want to get that game instead, seeing how Call of Duty is a game that's released every single year, and God of War Ragnarok was something that I was really looking forward to. Sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. I ultimately ended up deciding to get Call of Duty because, well, I'm in a situation where I'm between jobs and I'm about to have a son, and things are just a little heightened and stressful for my wife and I right now. And something like Call of Duty is something that I don't really have to think about a ton, something that I can play with my friends. It's almost therapeutic in a way. Just going back to that classic gameplay of making a class based on how I like to play, seeing something, shooting it, repeat. So, in that sense, I've had a lot of fun with this game, and I think I will continue to have a lot of fun with this game. It does have issues, though. Like game modes, Gunsmith is questionable right now. It's not the most polished piece in the world, but I've been enjoying it. So ultimately, I would recommend you buy it. Reason I'm saying that is because along with the multiplayer, I actually did really enjoy the campaign. Um, I did a review for that on my blogging site at rcgaming.wordpress.com, and I said in that blog that I actually found it to be a better campaign than the Modern Warfare 2019 reboot, and it was one that I quite enjoyed and one that made the whole package feel a little bit more valuable. So that's saying with that, along with the multiplayer, and I haven't played Spec Ops. I haven't just gotten around to playing it yet, and I didn't really super care for it in the last game because it wasn't very good in the last game. But I will probably get around to hopping into it eventually. But that's all from me. Go out and buy it, or if you don't feel comfortable about it, don't buy it. But I would recommend giving it a shot. Um, Please, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm new around here, and I'm really enjoying making content. It's been a lot of fun what I've made so far. There will be a podcast episode detailing the audio from this video as well as the campaign review. So having them both in one podcast episode up on my Spotify podcast. Other than that, I really enjoyed reviewing this game, and if you happen to listen, thank you for listening. Whether you like or not, share or not, subscribe or not, I appreciate you clicking. Okay. Have a good night. Keep it chill. I'll see y'all later.